One of the less glamorous aspects of managing down deep in the non-league is just how much of the day-to-day business involved in the club you have to get involved in. For example, David Noble has been injured for about a month because he's got a back problem. So I'm now looking at 13 ways to fix your age-related back pain, because he's older than me. Still love the fact he's older than me, even if he's got a dodgy back. So he needs to be more physically active. Play him more. Do physical therapy. We have a physio. Take medications. I mean, we've got a club doctor. It's not specific. We've got some aspirin in the back of the cupboard. We'll be fine. Apply cold. Good. We have no undersoil heating. Apply heat at the same time as the cold. And rest up at the same time as being physically active. I mean, this is... what I'm reading here is just continue to play him every game and don't get him to train very much. Hello and welcome to part 14 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two matches for you. Firstly, we're at home against Woking, and then we have an away game against Weston-Super-Mare. Since you were last with me, we've had a very good start to the season. The one blot on the copybook was a 1-0 defeat at home to Dartford. Where are Dartford in the league? How did that go so badly wrong? I don't really know what happened there, because Dartford's only win was against us. There is no explanation. Oscar Ingram, we're going to get onto you in a minute. Goodness me. He gets a trial at a Premier League club and all of a sudden he's Mr. Fancy invading episodes. We're going to talk about you in a minute, Oscar. Sit down. My word. So Dartford, I don't know how he lost. The rest of the time, though, we've played really rather well. Sam Merson, now playing as a poacher after a season of playing as our pressing forward, is doing exceptionally well. 5 goals from 6 appearances, although he did play as the pressing forward again in the last game to give Luke Hurst his debut at striker. Luke Hurst did score, but Merson had comfortably his worst game of the season. So as disappointing as it's going to be for Hurst making his professional football debut, or semi-professional I guess, and grabbing a goal, he's going to be dropped to the bench again today just so we can play Merson again as the poacher. But it seems that playing a poacher works. But the bad news is we do have an injury to David Noble, who isn't even going to be on there because I've got that filtered out to remove out of sight, out of mind. Plus it means I don't have to look at all these trialists that we still have knocking around the club. But David Noble has a back strain, bless him. I think he was reaching down to pick up his slippers so he could sit and read his newspaper in comfort. But he's got himself a back strain. He's been out for a little while, going to be out for a little while longer. I think we really are at the point where we've got to just nurse him through this season. More positive news is the players who've come in for him have been playing quite well as well, so we're not necessarily missing him just yet. Although you got to think, in a game like the one against Dartford, maybe if you have David Noble in the team taking the set pieces, you're not quite so useless. You can see teams are still trying to sign Zane Banton. He's not gone anywhere yet. We've identified another striker we'd like, but we can't afford him. Which is, I mean, look, how did we not notice him scoring all those goals for Wealdstone last year, and then he went on a free transfer to Boreham Wood? How have we let that happen? Did we even take him on trial? We didn't even take. How did we not? It took them 2 weeks to find him. How did we not know he existed? I'm very frustrated with my scouting team at the moment, but we have signed another striker. He's not quite in the same category. Are these? What on earth is all this? These are trials. Oscar, for goodness sake, will you stop invade? We'll talk about you now. Fine, we have signed a striker, but Oscar Ingram, because he's Mr. Fancy Pants on trial at Brighton, wants me to talk about him first. He's 16. He came through last year's youth intake. He's only at Brighton on a week's trial. As soon as I asked him for the trial, we did tie him down to a 3-year contract as well. He's theoretically only got 4.5 star potential at our level, so I guess he's not actually as good as the trial suggests. But the main reason I wanted to give him the contract is so that if Brighton do decide they want him, they have to give us money for him. Brighton, I said Premier League before, they are now a Championship club, having got relegated last year, but they have a bunch of young players on trial at the moment. Is this something you do as big clubs? I've never really done that when I've been a big club, but they've got 6 young players on trial at the moment, which is an interesting little transfer technique. Do you do that in your saves? Let me know down in the comments. But there's 2 other left backs that he's competing with, and presumably they'll pick the best one and sign him. I certainly wouldn't be against them offering me 100,000 for Oscar Ingram, and I would absolutely bite their arm off. They could have him for 50 grand. He might be brilliant, but 500,000, he's yours. Right, we did sign a striker though. Where is he? Proper transfers. Branden Buckley is another youngster on not very much money. 2-star current ability, 5-star potential. It's just really for numbers because I'm afraid Zane Banton's going to leave because people keep asking him to leave and he's not on a contract. So we've got Buckley as another option, just really to make up the numbers. He was at Grimsby last year, hasn't ever played a game of football, so quite frankly, I don't know how he identifies as a striker when he's never played a match. But let's get into today's first game. We're at home against Woking, and this is the 11 that we're putting out there. 3 players playing in their first games of the season, 2 of which making their debuts, because we're just struggling a little bit for fitness in a few areas at the moment. As you can see by the state of the bench, I mean, Luke Hurst a little bit tired, and obviously Noble unavailable. Lots of forget the trialists. I'm just trying to find a striker. That's why I'm bringing in so many defenders on trial. Ben Hurd hasn't played a game since missing that penalty in the first episode. You might have seen the last of Ben Hurd. But we've got McDonough in goal, a back four of Wyatt, Suckling, Mills and Bloor, with Nielsen on debut, next to Horton on debut, with Sambu and Sadie in midfield, and then Moyo playing his first game of the season alongside Merson up front. Last year, when Moyo was banging in goals for fun, he was playing as an advanced forward with Merson as a pressing forward. I want Merson playing as the poacher. He's played well as a poacher all season long so far, and I'm just trying to find him a partner now. He was looking quite good with Zane Banton, but I'm loath to rely on Zane Banton when clubs keep making offers for him, even though, to be fair to Banton, he keeps turning the offers down, so I guess we're paying him far too much money per appearance. I think he's on £300 per appearance to play up front alongside Sam Merson, which, yeah, I mean, it probably is too much money to be giving him. So that, I don't know. I'm not sure about Banton. He's not exactly setting the world alight. So we'll give Moyo a go. Moyo, for a long time last year, was our top scorer. He's another one who's on non-contract. So if he plays well, presumably someone will try and steal him away like with Banton. But let's see if him and Merson can play together this way around. Merson is in and tries the little chip lob situation from just inside the area. I mean, quite frankly, Sam, just whack that. Just score the goal. Let's not try and be too fancy about it. But Horton, on his debut in midfield, plays it back to Sambu. Sambu, ball over the top. Merson is in. Don't float it this time. I mean, this time he hits it hard. Arguably too hard. We need somewhere between the two, Sam. You're trying to be too clever and then you're trying to hit it too hard. We need a middle ground when you get your third opportunity to do that. You're supposed to be playing as the poacher. We need you to be tucking away the chances like you have been for the rest of the season. I think switching him to pressing forward again for a game has made him forget how to score goals. They've hit the post there, and I don't really know what McDonough's doing because he's not on the end of the first one, and then he's just kind of faffing about in the area, and the ball goes across him and into the back of the net. I think there's got to be some questions asked here of our goalkeeper, and that radar is completely in the way. So that's hit the post and then basically gone through McDonough and knocked Wyatt over into the net. What is the point of having a man on the back post if when the ball comes to the back post, he just lets it hit him in the stomach and then falls over the line with the ball? Welcome to non-league, boys and girls. And now we've got to drag our way back into this game. Woking, of course, were a good team last year. It looks like they're a good team again this year. We've given away a penalty. Is that Horton on his debut? I mean, that's a way to endear yourself to me, Daniel. Is his name Daniel? It's Daniel now. And McDonough goes the wrong way and it's 2-0. Like I say, Woking were a good team last year. We've had a good start. Yes, Dartford was disappointing, but we weren't ever outclassed against Dartford. We just didn't really create much in the way of chances, and then they scored a goal against the run of play. But this is the first time this season where a team has come against us or invited us to their place. We're not just talking about home games. It's the first time we've played a match this season and really struggled. And of course it'd be when you lot are watching. Let's ask my assistant to do the team talk because I messed it up before the match. Clearly it's all my fault. We'll go balanced. We don't want to get too excited yet, but we do want to show some passion. 2-0 down at half time. Not okay. And I may as well have done my own half-time team talk if the first thing I'm going to do in the second half is start shouting from the side of the pitch. Ignore everything he said. This is what I want you to do. Get out there. Passion their faces off. Nielsen now needs to impress me because t'other fella who's been playing on the left wing has been playing really rather well. Merson this time does mystery option 3 of hitting it at the right pace but right at the goalkeeper. He will score a goal today. Moyo with the corner. It eventually finds Sadie to Merson. And I don't think Merson actually got on the end of that one, but arguably should have. maybe. Merson's having a terrible game, and I think Sam Merson is going to be coming off right now. We're going to bring on Hurst. I said Hurst probably feels a little bit hard done by for having a very good debut in the last game and then immediately getting dropped. Well, the reason he was dropped was Merson. Merson has missed all the chances under the sun, so Merson can come off. We'll give Hurst the opportunity to come on and show me that he's the answer. We speculated he might be the answer when we did the famous hour-long transfer episode, and then haven't really given him much of an opportunity. And then when we did give him an opportunity, he took it, and I still dropped him. Because I'm Kev, and that's what I do sometimes. I'm also going to take off Horton. The only reason Horton is playing today is because he was moaning that he hasn't had the opportunity to play. But now he's very frustrated on a 5.9, and now I can say to him, well, that's why you've not played. I gave you your opportunity. I can actually use that line next time he comes to me. I gave you an opportunity and you didn't take it. So Bosma can come back in. We've gone 3-0 down now. This is poor. Very, very poor. I don't want to see your Poxy replay. Yes, let's go back to counter-attacking though. We're just worried about our goal difference at this point. We're not getting back into the game. Let's just not concede any more goals. They come at us with a free kick, and there's number 4. Brilliant. How has this gone so badly wrong today? We all looked at the same screen, right? The one that showed we've had a very good start to the season. And I don't understand. And I don't understand. How are we 4-0 down? I mean, don't worry, we can make another substitution yet, because that's going to make all the difference at this point. Sadie whacks the ball forward for what's his name? Is it Hurst? Is that his name? The youngster to chase, and he's nowhere near it. At least Merson was getting on the end of, and Moyo is just running around like a headless chicken. I think this might be the last we see of David Moyo for a little while. Oh my word. Bosma to Sambu, and here's Hurst with the chance to put a silver lining on this cloud, and he fires it straight at the keeper. Although, to be fair to him, it's no worse than what Sam Merson was doing. Look at the state of the clear-cut chances. We're 4-1 up on clear-cut chances, 4-0 down on the day. This is possibly the most muggiest mugging we've ever been mugged by. And you've got to lay a lot of the blame on Sam Merson for missing so many chances early on when he had the opportunity to put us ahead. Right, I forgot to make my final substitution. Wyatt's having a terrible game. Blaw's having a terrible game. We're going to take Nielsen off and bring Patterson on that left wing. Patterson has been playing well on the left wing. So we brought 3 new players into the team, and 2 of them taken off in disgrace. Suckling does grab us a consolation goal with an assist from Wyatt. It does not make up for how terrible your goal line defending was, Ben. I'm going to need more from you than just letting the ball force you over the line and then getting an assist when we're 4-0 down. That's not going to cut it. We've got 2 other very good left-backs at the club, and one of them will be playing in the next game. Patterson now with the chance to cross. Crosses towards Hurst. Hurst is straight at the goalkeeper again, but it was clear-cut chance number 5. So 5-1 up on clear-cut chances, 4-1 down on real-world actual football goals. And I have no explanation. I can only say we've just been very, very hard done by there. We need to turn it around, ready for the Weston-Super-Mare game. Another example of a striker we somehow didn't know about until right now. Sylvain Banks-Blake, still only 33 years old. What is he doing playing below us in the league structure? How has this happened after this? Where did it all go wrong for him? I mean, we can't sign him, and regardless of how much money he wants, he's playing... what division are Halesowen in? They're below non-league. They're non-league. The Southern Central Premier. That sounds made up. But what did we see what he's earning? Hold on, $1,500 a week. That's why we can't pay that. How can they pay that? We'll keep scouting him just in case, but I don't think we're going to be signing him. Oh, heads up about McKenna. Joy McKenna isn't feeling the joy at the moment. We've got 2 very good centre-backs. You know what, though? We were rubbish in the last game. So, come on, you can play in the next game. I don't know who we're dropping for you yet, but you're in, Joy. Look, I want a joyful experience. Right, lots of changes for Weston-Super-Mare then, and rightly so, because we were rubbish in the last game. So Sanders comes in for Wyatt, who was rubbish. McKenna comes in for Mills, who in defence of him wasn't rubbish, but let's give the 2 Watford boys a little bit of a run. In fact, Sanders is former Watford as well, isn't he? So we've got 3 of the 4 players who were Watford's under 23 defence last season, all playing together. I don't want to look to see how badly they did in real life. I was just checking he isn't on loan from Watford as well, which would have been ridiculous if that was the case. We don't do feeder clubs or affiliate clubs, but yeah, we've got the whole Watford defence at the back for us. We've also brought Patterson in on the right-hand side of midfield because Sadie, I bigged him up a lot. I'm paying him a lot of money. He's not really repaying me yet, although I guess 3 assists in 5 games. He's David Noble levels of assists, but he doesn't really do very much else. His average rating has been a little bit rubbish, so we'll try Patterson on the right, Nielsen on the left, and we're bringing in Gooden to play alongside Merson today. We're Gooden. He's really a winger, but, you know, we're going to give him a try as an advance forward. We're going to go back to the way we lined up the front 2 last year. Advance forward with Merson as a pressing forward. Hurst's still going to sit on the bench, wondering what he did wrong. And it's you didn't really do anything. I should probably be playing Hurst today. If I'm going back to Merson playing as the pressing forward, poor old Hurst probably does deserve. I shouldn't be expecting wins from these games. Where are Weston-Super-Mare? Mid-table. Really, we probably should be expecting to win that game because Weston-Super-Mare, we're better than them. But, I don't know, we didn't ever expect to win games last year and it seemed to work quite well. Horton has a lot to prove tonight because I've given him the benefit of the doubt. I'm giving him one more game. We're going to put that last appearance down to first match nerves, mainly because he's on £375 a week and I can't afford to write him off after one game. But if he has another poor game, we will write him off after 2 and we'll get Bosma back into the midfield, who's costing us nothing. And we'll try and get rid of Horton somehow. Horton was playing for Lincoln last year in the league, and now he's not very good for us in the National League South, which we're missing David Noble. We're really missing him. Patterson did well, but then just kind of launched it forward when it would have been nice to see him run with it like he's doing now. Running down the right hand side, tucks it into Merson. Merson, how many opportunities has Sam Merson missed in this one episode? He has scored 5 goals already this season, and if he'd have tucked away most of the chances he's had today, he'd be in double figures. I think there's just it was very important in the summer for us to keep Merson. But I am worried that he's not going to be the one. He's not going to be the striker that fires us out of this division. If we go up this year, it'll be despite Sam Merson, not because of him. And Gooden grabs his first goal for the club. It's an assist from Nielsen. So Nielsen repaying the faith I've put in him by giving him a second start. And Horton's involved as well. Horton back to Sanders. Sanders plays it into Nielsen. And then Gooden with a tidy little finish. I mean, if he can be a striker, I know he's a winger, but if he can... Perhaps he's my Thierry Henry. I can't say his first name anyway. I might rename him Thierry Gooden. If he grabs another goal, he's going to be Thierry. Sambu, big ball over the top. Gooden is through. Oh, and he's hit the post. So close to a new name, but still so very far. And now Weston-Super-Mare with their first attack of the game. I mean, it's certainly the first one that we've seen in a highlight. Grab a goal back, and McDonald was an issue last year that we managed to sort out with 6 games to go. He stood behind his goal line there. He's an issue again this year, I think. But, I mean, how many offsides? How many players are offside there? We had that a few episodes ago, where because it wasn't the guy scoring, it didn't get given as offside. I'm absolutely certain, in real life, that's given as an offside. It might not be to the letter of the law, but I would argue every single one of those players is interfering with play because our goalkeeper's positioning is based on where the attacking players are. So he's stood behind the line because he's afraid, and that's why he doesn't save the goal. It all been going so well, and then I turned the curse of the camera on. Horton's not playing well again. His days are numbered. Does anyone want to sign Horton from us? Because we need to get rid of him. Assistant manager, I don't want to upset everybody again. Thank you. I mean, I'm losing the ability to do these team talks. I'm going to retain the right to, so that I can absolutely lose my mind at them when their performance is like the last game. But on a week in, week out basis, I think my assistant is probably better placed to not upset everybody. Horton, though, I want him to get upset. He's coming off. Can we do an individual shout to Horton? I just want to tell Horton to show some passion. Go on, show some passion, you numbskull. You've got 3 minutes before I'm taking you off. No, he's got worse. No, you're dumb. Bosma can come on in midfield. And then Nielsen's absolutely shattered, but he's been the best player on the pitch. But he's shattered. And we have got Sadie on the bench. So we're going to bring Sadie on. We're going to swap those two over. We can't afford, if he's playing that well, if he's as good as he's looked today, we can't afford to break him before he's even properly broken into the team. So Sadie gets another opportunity to justify why we're paying him so much money, and McDonough comes out to collect that. Right, everybody needs to show some passion at this point. Come on, gentlemen, let's get that passion on. Sanders, ball forward towards Gooden, who just can't get it under control. And what is McDonough doing there? I mean, I don't understand what just happened. At least it didn't lead to a goal, but it was incredibly extravagant for the circumstances. Sadie now, chance to cross it in. We've got Gooden in the middle. It's nowhere near him, but it falls to Pattison. Pattison from way out. And that, I think that looked closer than it actually ended up being. But I think we are going to bring on Hurst at this point, and we're going to bring him on. We are going to bring him on for Gooden, and we're going to play Hurst as a poacher, and we're just going to give him 10 minutes to show that he is as good as he looked in that game that he was allowed to start in. Oh my word! And now we're losing 2 defeats. Oh no, it's been disallowed. I tell you what, we're going to carry on attacking anyway. We've switched to an attacking system. I wouldn't normally attack in this situation away from home, but let's do it anyway. Let's just encourage everybody. And the ball's bobbling around in the area there, and something's been given. I think we fouled them. I thought for a second we had a late penalty, at which point we rushed Ben Hurd out of the reserves to get him onto the pitch to take it, even though he's missed his last 2. And it's been dropped primarily for missing 2 penalties in a row, because it was the only thing really keeping him in the side. I mean, that's not the worst result we've ever had. At least it stops the rot and we've not lost 2 in the bounce. We're still in the playoffs. If we finish 6th this season, I'm going to be delighted with that. So let's not get too grumpy. And we'll probably be back somewhere around late October. Maidenhead? They've been relegated, surely. Maidenhead yeah, they're a National League team. So perhaps as a bigger team at this level, perhaps show Maidenhead and then Dulwich, maybe. Unless someone else emerges as a playoff rival in that time. We'll worry about that nearer the time. But anyway, if you've enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.